Who are the Knights Templar, and why is there so much legend and mystery surrounding the group? The group started with a French knight named Hugues de Payens. Payens created a military order with relatives and acquaintances. They took monastic vows, which included vows of poverty, and lived together in a close community with an established code of conduct. In 1120, Baldwin II, the king of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, gave the knights his palace for use as their headquarters. The palace was referred to as the Temple of Solomon, so this brotherhood quickly became, or called themselves, the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and the Order of the Knights of the Temple of Solomon, later known simply as the Knights Templar. The Templars were initially divided into two classes, knights and sergeants. The Knight brothers came from the military aristocracy and were trained in the arts of war. They assumed elite leadership positions in the order and served at royal and papal courts. Only the Knights wore the Templars' distinctive logo, the white cross marked with a white surcoat. The sergeants, or serving brothers, who were usually from lower social classes, made up the majority of members. They dressed in black habits and served as both warriors and servants. The Templars eventually added a third class called the chaplains, who were responsible for holding religious services, administering the sacraments, and addressing the spiritual needs of their other members. And women weren't allowed to join, however, they did have one Templar nunnery. The fall of the Knights Templar started in the late 12th century. Muslim armies retook Jerusalem and turned the tide of the Crusades, forcing the Knights Templar to relocate several times. In 1307, scores of French Templars were arrested, including the order's Grand Master, Jacques de Molay. Many knights were brutally tortured until they confessed to charges of heresy, homosexuality, financial corruption, devil worshipping, fraud, spitting on the cross, and more. A few years later, dozens of Templars were burned at the stake in Paris for their confessions. And while most historians agree that the Knights Templar entirely dissolved 700 years ago, some people believe the order went underground and remains in existence today. In the 18th century, some groups, most notably the Freemasons, restored several medieval knights' symbols, rituals, and traditions. Currently, several international organizations are styled after the Knights Templar that the public can join. These groups have representatives worldwide and aim to uphold the values and traditions of the original medieval order. Various tales have surfaced about the Knights' mysterious work throughout the years, and more recently, stories about the legendary Templars have found their way into popular books and movies.